Welcome back to our Docker series. If you have watched the first video, you now have Docker installed, know how to run containers, manage images, and even build your first custom Python image. In this video, we are going to take things a step further. We'll move from simple scripts to real-world applications. You'll see how to run a web app inside a Docker container, access it through your browser, and even connect to it or connect it to files on your local machine. And why is this important? While scripts are great for testing, real applications need to interact with the outside world. Docker makes this easy by allowing us to expose ports and mount folders so our apps can communicate and store data without affecting the host system. And by the end of this video, you'll be able to run a full web app in Docker, understand how containerized applications communicate with the outside world, and take full advantage of Docker for development as well as evaluation. So grab your Docker setup, make sure your Python image is ready, and let's dive into running real world applications in containers. In the first part, we are going to run a real web application inside Docker. And for simplicity, we'll use Flask, a lightweight Python web framework, so you can see your app in action right in the browser. So in your project folder, create a file called app.py with the following content. So first of all, I will have from Flask, import Flask. It's okay if this is not installed on your local system because you're not going to use it on your local system. You're going to use it inside your container. And we will install our Flask library inside the container itself. So the error here is okay for now. App equals to Flask and provide name. Now I'm going to define a simple endpoint here with app.route, and then it is going to act like our home page. So I'll write a function for this, def home, and then basically define return hello world from Dockerized Flask app. Now that our route is ready, let me run this or write a code to run this function here, double equals to main. Now I'm going to run this app in host 0.0.0.0, and then my port will be 5000. Okay, so if you notice the host here 0.0.0.0 part, this tells Flask to listen on all network interfaces so it can be accessed from outside the container, and the port 5000 is the default Flask port. Now we need to create another file called Docker file here, and then inside that we're going to write down the following content. So first of all, we're going to use official Python image here. So for that I'm going to do from Python, and then the version I'm going to use is 3.12. Along with this, I'm going to set up a working directory. Now my working directory can be defined as work directory /app. Next, I'm going to copy my local files into the Docker container. And to do that, I'm going to do copy app.py. I only need this file here, and then give a dot, which actually refers to my working directory. Then, like I said earlier, I'm going to install Flask here. So to install Flask, I'm going to do run pip install Flask. While running, I need to expose my port here. So since my Flask app will run on port 5000, I'm going to expose port 5000. And finally, I'm going to write a command to run the Flask app. So for that, I'm going to do cmd and inside a list provide Python and then app.py. So once the Docker file is built, now we need to build the Docker image. So let's open our terminal, or we can open our terminal from the VS Code terminal itself. So I'm going to do new terminal. I'm actually inside my project folder, and then if you want to verify whether Docker works or not, I can do Docker version. Well, the Docker works fine. To see any running container, I can do Docker ps. There are no running containers. To see if any containers exist that has been already run and exited, I can do Docker ps -a. Well, there are no such exited containers too. The Docker a Docker repo is actually empty. Now I want to build this particular Docker based on the Docker file here. So to do that, I can simply do Docker build -t and then provide my container name called Flask app and then hit a dot. So this creates a Docker image called Flask app with everything needed to run your web application. So let me run this and then wait while this particular Docker image is built. Okay, now that the image is built, we can run the container with port mapping. So to do that, I'm going to do Docker run -p 5000 5000 and then provide the name called Flask app. So here this -p 5000 colon 5000 maps the port 5000 on your host to port 5000 in the container. So this will let you open your browser and then basically visit localhost colon 5000 to see your app running. So we'll run this, and just like that, our Flask web app is running inside a Docker container. We can open a browser window and visit localhost 5000 and then basically see whatever we printed there. So let me just go ahead and then open my browser window here and call localhost colon 5000. So as you can see, we now can see the message that we had printed, or we had returned from this particular route here, and then the default route points to this link called localhost 5000. And why port 5000? Because we had done that particular port mapping whenever we had run our Flask server. Now that our Flask app is running inside Docker, let's make it easier to develop. Normally, every time you change your code, you'd have to rebuild the Docker image. But Docker allows us to mount a local folder as a volume inside a container. This way, any changes you make to your code on your computer are immediately reflected inside the running container. And that is perfect for hands-on development. So here I'm going to stop this container for now, and then I can do Docker ps. So there is no running container. I'm going to do Docker ps -a. Here I have one container, but here I'm going to remove this for now. So let me copy the Docker container ID, and then I can do Docker rm and then paste in the container ID. So everything is removed. Our or the image itself is removed for now. So we can work with this particular folder structure here. That is okay. Now we can run this container with a volume. To run our container with our project folder as a volume, first of all, I'd like to make a few changes here. So in the Docker file, if you see, the part of this Flask installation process is done before copying. So I would like to remove it from here and then just put it before we copy the file content into our container. And then in our app.py, I'd like to add one more parameter to this, which is our debug mode, and then our debug mode will be set to true. So once this is done, now I can run the command here. So docker run -p 5000 :5000 -v $pwd/app and then Flask app. So here, this particular part actually mounts your current directory from the host to the app folder inside the container. So any edits you make to app.py here on your host will automatically be visible in the computer. The part where we have done this port forwarding still maps the container port to your host, so you can open localhost :5000. Think of this as linking your project folder directly to the container's workspace. Your container is now using the live version of your code instead of a static copy from the image. Edit your script, refresh your browser, and you can see the changes instantly. No rebuilding is required. So let me run this. Okay, something's wrong. Let me see. Repository name must be lowercase. Docker run. Okay, there must be some running container. Let me check. Okay, we don't have any running container. So okay, while editing, I have made these 3 containers, so I'm just going to remove them. So docker rm, the first container, second container, as well as third container. So all of these containers will now be removed. All of these images will now be removed, and then I can simply run it using my old code. We still have a problem. pwd/app. Oh, the part of pwd. Okay, I seem to have missed a space here. Okay, now this is fine. So let me run this, and you can see that our container is up and running. So go to your browser and then just we can see hello world as a volume with updated changes here. Now I'm going to add something to this text. Let me write new changes has been added, and then just save this file. Now if you save this file and then go back to our container or the expose URL and then run this, now you will be able to see the changes that you've made on your host machine into the container itself. So imagine your container as a separate workspace, but with a window directly into your real files. You make changes into your office, which is the host machine, and the container instantly sees them. No copying and no rebuilding. So with that, we've successfully run a real web application inside a Docker container. We took a simple Flask app, packaged it into an image, ran it as a container, exposed ports, and accessed it directly from our browser. Now, this is a huge milestone because at this point, you're no longer just running scripts in Docker. You're running an actual web service completely isolated from your local system. We also saw how Docker makes applications portable. The same container that runs on your laptop can run on a server, a cloud platform, or any environment where Docker is installed without changing a single line of code. Now, this setup works great for simple applications, but real-world apps rarely live alone. They usually depend on databases, caches, background workers, or other services. Managing all of those manually using separate Docker run commands quickly becomes confusing. And that is exactly where we're heading next. In the next part, we'll introduce Docker Compose. We'll see how to run multiple containers together, for example, a Flask app and a database, using a single configuration file and a single command. And this is where Docker truly starts to feel powerful and practical, and where things begin to resemble real production setup. So take a moment to experiment with what we built here, and when you're ready, join me in the next video where we take this single container app and evolve it into a multi-container application. If you have any doubts, feel free to comment down below and I'll see you in the next video.